We're back. Hey, happy Monday. I am excited about this one. I want to not be that person, but we got to talk about change. It's the only constant. I know it's like super cliche to say that, but in business and in life, it's really the only thing we can guarantee will always be there for us. And yet, some people grip to the past as a security blanket or something. Others ride the wave. And I'm not sure which one you are. I feel pretty strongly. I don't know if you can be pretty strongly, but I know where I stand. And the reason why I'm bringing this up is I was on a call recently, bit of a block of instruction or webinar style with a guru of a certain social media platform. And they're a brilliant mind, clearly a brilliant mind. A lot of what was shared blew me away. Strategically, content-wise, it was incredibly thorough. But there was a couple of points in which they kind of went off. And one of those was on emoji. And implying that they're childish, didn't really understand what they communicate, and really doubled down on long form writing for this social media platform, and even over graphics and carousels and video, which I found really interesting. Clearly, they're a writer, and that's amazing. I'm sitting there and I'm thinking, because as soon as I get something, this is the way my brain works. As soon as I get something that's like that dug in, like that confident about a thing, like with not hate, but discomfort, or I don't know what the word I'm looking for is. I was thinking that, okay, this isn't about taste or the algorithm. This really isn't even about, maybe it's not even about understanding, right? When you're holding a hammer, everything looks like a nail. So this really is about change. And I've had this in my to-do list, in my notes, my future episode notes for about a month. I want to talk about change because it's something I think about and do. I think about pretty often. Because look, I'm 54. I didn't grow up with TikTok in the 80s, and I didn't learn about marketing through Instagram Reels or content strategies. There were no courses available for web design when I started doing web design. I didn't graduate college, and universities would reach out to me to give talks to their marketing classes about web design and design classes. I spoke at schools to design classes because there were no people that understood web design in that school, that area of academia. And I started creating websites, like I said, in the 90s, and almost everything in that game has changed since then. So I don't want to be the guy that dismisses things just because I don't understand it. And I think I'm pretty good at that. But what I saw in that moment on that call was someone who probably, certainly in this regard, stopped being curious, who felt the world had changed on them, maybe not with them, or maybe it changed in a way that moved away from something that they were particularly skilled at, which, all right, that's difficult. I get that. But that's kind of the point of this whole talk, right? This whole video is to say, I want to be cautious here. I'm a little bit of a stoicism geek, and I do love the did this happen to you or for you? Some might call it a trope. It's a paradigm, but I'm extremely cautious about using it, certainly to people's face, because you don't want to just say that to someone. You will upset them. if they're saying something like that triggers that thought, they're not in the emotional space for that to be thrown in their face. So I get it. Resistance to change can turn into resentment. And resentment is like this poison for creativity and at a larger scale for business and for life and relationships. That was scaling it a little bit, but I think you get it. So I'm not a writer. I see myself as being a terrible writer. It's not even something I enjoy. It helps me work through my thoughts. It helps me realize what I really think about something. So the exercise of writing I find value in, but that doesn't mean I care much for what I wrote. And I do respect the hell out of good writing. It is the number one skill set you should or could have to advance your career, to be better at life and relationships. Like, writing is probably the skill, right? But I'm not a Gen Z ninja either. I don't know, careful how to say that, but I'm not that up on all the algorithms. I've actually reached a point where maybe I don't care that much about the algorithm. I think people know how to find what it is that they're looking for now. And if you're trying to game the algorithm, that you can't win that race. It's chicken and egg, and chickens can run. we're the egg. Just okay. So what I'm trying to figure out now, a little bit about myself. What I'm trying to figure out now is, how do I continue being a student and showing up that way, even as I gain experience continually and learn more about trends and age out of trends, maybe even age out of my career. Like, how much further am I going? In 20 years, I'll be 74. Am I really going to be sitting here talking to you? Maybe. Actually, hadn't thought about that previously, but that sounds pretty good. Maybe I'm just enjoying this a lot. Here's my strategy, all right? Stay curious, not cynical. Cynicism is not going to be healthy, I think, toward this goal. Be a healthy skeptic. I'm already pretty skeptical of a lot of things, but skepticism does help us stay on track instead of going guardrail to guardrail. Bad analogy, but trend hunting. You can go too far in trend hunting and not get enough done with enough consistency to bear the fruits of that labor. So some skepticism, wait until a trend hits a certain point, like have a respect for why behind a trend before forming an opinion on what, and understanding how to leverage it if it needs to be leveraged to help out. And this isn't necessarily just about trends, okay? But I want to continue learning from people who are both younger and older than me. These perspectives can really inform what I think, and that social feedback, I think, is critically important. So I think that helps fight off nostalgia or pessimism as sort of being the default, right? So, and look, I'm an extrovert, so maybe social cues do something different for you. Respect it. And I want to watch my own language. I would want to say that's dumb, or I miss when something happens, or I don't get it. I want to instead ask questions that I can't answer, or if I can, have follow-up questions. The note I made during that call, I have it here. Dude is clearly a writer. Wasn't necessarily a dude, but that's how I talk to myself. I'm basically Spicoli or Keanu Reeves' character from Point Break. So I found, I criticized my note after. I was like, okay, this thought exercise is the reason why I want to talk about this on Monday's live show. Hey, look at us. We're here doing it. Yeah, I want to stay close to humility and my fire. And yes, change can be uncomfortable. But it also is what keeps us alive. Not to get all caveman on us, but change is how we got here. Change is why you're watching this video. Change is why I'm making it. And I think I'd rather learn, continue to look a little bit foolish and make micro mistakes here in this forum and in other forums to sort of calcify what I think, calcify how I can be helpful and help others think through their own mindset and exercise. Because look, we're running businesses here and we're designing our even if you don't run a business, you're designing your career for the life that you want. We're all kind of doing that. Some more actively than others, different stories. So it has me thinking constantly, and I think I'm going to make a wallpaper or put a graphic together that pops up once in a while on my computer. I have these whiteboards of things that I make. What is the one change I continue to resist? And I'll ask you, what's the one change that you've been resisting? Like, not because it's uncomfortable or bad, but because it's unfamiliar. And I have a couple things that I resist or procrastinate on or put off because I don't necessarily want to do them. That's different. That may not necessarily be change, but it may be the change I'm resisting that needs to happen to make them not be something I would procrastinate on. I think I just talked in a circle. Anyway, I would love a comment. Talk to me. Holler at me. Put a comment. Like and subscribe. Let me know. I mean, you made it this far through the video, right? Like 12 minutes in, we're here. Tell me what one change, something you've been resistant with for as far as change goes. I think we all have them, and I'm trying to be more mindful about it. And I think this video, this exercise helped me work through how I want to think and feel as I'm working through that mindset and that shift, and how I can be more mindful about embracing it as I age. So I'm not on a call and then one day someone several years younger than me is thinking, well, this old curmudgeon doesn't know how things work now. Or, you know, what did I say? No, it's not specific, but I just don't want to be that guy. And you may not want to be that person either. So that's the thought. That's the thought exercise. So thumbnail moment. Hey, someone joined in. Hey, what's up? I want it like a skepticism face, because I think that's what people relate to. Because I think the thumbnail here is going to say, don't be that person. I don't know if I can get that in there. And the title of the video will be how to embrace change without being a digital dinosaur. I don't know. That seems like that's talking up in age. Too specific. Let me think on that. That might not actually be the ultimately the title, but it's a good starting point. So, all right, listen, let's go have a great week. I appreciate you. Like and subscribe. Leave a comment. Tell me about change you've been resistant to, or if this rang your bell or whatever. Like, if this resonated with you, just holler. Just shoot me a note. I'd love to see it. So, have a great week. I'll see you Wednesday. We have a holiday this Friday, and I said I didn't want to miss any episodes. So, it's the 4th of July this Friday. And I'm thinking I'm going to record, but we'll see. We'll see. All right, ready? Thumbnail face. That wasn't bad. That should work. All right, peace. Have a good one.